Thank you DLC for inviting me. When I talk about PwC, our mission statement, we are a problem of solvers. We want to do better for society. And looking at the way world is getting disrupted, our motto is also that the future of the world is human led and tech enabled. Okay, it will always be these two things going together. Tech has to enable, but the human has to lead it at the end. We just came out with our annual global CEO survey, and I know why most of you are here. We had almost 4,700 global CEOs participating in the survey, and it was the theme was about, in this age of disruption, about reinvention. The primary question was that how many of you believe that your company will survive more than 10 years if you continue the same path? This was the question. This question was there last year as well. Last year, 40% CEOs believed that their company will not be viable if you continue the same path. This year, that percentage has gone up to 45. The key point over here is you have to disrupt your business processes. You have to disrupt your way of thinking. You have to disrupt the market, because if you don't do it, somebody else is going to do it in your industry. So it is all about reinventing your business model. And I'm sure you can't say that I will reinvent top to bottom everything in one shot. It's not possible. Everything requires resources, right? I think Sir gave a very good perspective about what AI is and what its power is. That is where we come in, and we work with a lot of our clients where we build a strategy for them that how they should adopt it, putting them at the center, their customers at the center, their business processes at the center, and strategy to actually executing it. These are not new topics. We have been doing data and analytics in PwC as a competency is there more than 2 decades old. We have been talking about data and analytics quite a long time. Okay, perspective is changing because the adoption rate in the market, the capability to process the data, churn the data has increased. The tipping point was when computers moved from on-premise to cloud computing, and you can use infinite amount of computing power to process the data. So one of our India's major customer, I'll not name them, but the problem statement was exactly same. Means we were doing a overall business transformation project for them, implementing lot of new systems. The primary project scope was only about developing a reporting system which reads into their data and provides operational and MIS reports. Then during the conversation it came up that they have an additional system. So their business is quite wide. They don't have their own fleet of trucks, but they have their designated vendors, huge amount of usage, lot of vendors. Their logistics horizontal, you can say, was worth almost $2 billion at that point in time, what I'm talking about. Even though it was not their business, but it was a horizontal which was supporting their business. They said, we have almost 1.2 million truck shipments going in and out of our plant. Okay, and we monitor all of them. We have a lot of data around that. During those days, they were one of the first few companies who had embedded those telematics chips in those trucks, which was gathering a lot of data. Now, that is where the question started. They said that we have the data, can we do something with that? That is how the conversation actually started. And we being part of data and analytics, we involved few of our statistics people, advanced analytics teams. They said, okay, let us look through the data, what all data points are available, and we came up with a use case. Let's do one thing. There are some very good insights about it. Where does the truck go through? Then it even used to capture that, is the truck overspeeding? Is the truck doing harsh braking? Is there any point on the route where the truck has an unplanned stoppage? So the data was there, but when you say 1.2 million shipments across the year, so many products, nobody was looking at that data. So we said that let us just run through normal statistics models and try to find some insights. The first thing which we did was, let us identify all the negative incidents and positive incidents and bucket them separately. We started to identify there are some specific routes where the truck takes longer time. Normal stuff. Maybe Google Maps today gives us that. Why? Because the traffic is more on those routes. Okay. So categorizing the routes, point A to B, you got 5 options and you were able to say which are the better routes or more efficient routes. Valuable insight, converting data into insight for or taking a business decision. Okay, let's take it to next level. Let us associate the incidents with the drivers. So you started to identify who was doing more of overspeeding, who was doing more of harsh braking. Correlate those things to some incidents or accidents or any pilferage that has happened on the product. Ultimately, what started to happen was a driver profile started to emerge. At the end of that pilot program, we were able to profile their drivers and rank them, that these are the ones who are your safest drivers, these are the drivers who are average, they are doing good, these are the ones who are not safe drivers. The moment this was tabled and shown to their logistics head, he was like, oh, this is so easy now for me, I'm just going to fire this set of drivers, right? You just imagine that there is so much of insight which is hidden within your data, okay, which is not coming out because we were not utilizing it. And what did we actually use? Some statistical algorithms, which we now today call as machine learning, okay. We can take it to even one step above. As and when the volume of data increases, we started to apply some AI insights on top of it, okay. What additional we can do? Their insurance team got involved. They said that let us negotiate our contracts with our vendors, that if they provide safe drivers on our shipments, the overall insurance liability on the transport will go down, okay. If they provide driver who is not part of that category, we will not own up the insurance liability. So any insight which you get, you were able to convert it into this kind of decision making. Another example from the same, the moment we started digging this up, more and more new ideas started to come in. Second is simple business process automation. Today, lot of you might be doing, or if you want, you should be doing it, is you have lot of expense submissions done by your employees. Most of the companies, the expense report is prepared by the employee, he attaches all the bills, he submits, in somewhere in the system either manager approves, then the finance approves, all process done, the employee receives either at the month end or based on the cycle, right? Genuinely speaking, 99% of the times, manager looks at the invoices depending on his perception about that employee, okay. So there is an inherent risk of something wrong happening over there, or it is just working on mutual trust. Now this was a large organization, more than 50,000 employees. They said, let's take a radical call, let's use technology for this and replace this whole approval process. They decided that all the expenses will be self-approved. You just have to go and put it in the Dropbox. They are approved and they will be paid off. What do we do in between? But it is a matter of trust. If we find that you are doing something wrong, then you are out of the organization. There is no other path. We enabled a technology platform over there. We used basic RPA to scan the invoices and get all the primary information out of it. We applied machine learning algorithms, certain AI algorithms on top of it to identify which are the ones which are potential duplicate copies or wrong claims. Based on what? Certain history, certain parameters they came up, means what can be the potential way they might be doing it. Is the format looking exactly same, invoice number is same, somebody has tried to tweak with the invoice numbers. So it was a new model which we developed, but then it refined over a period of time. What this actually did was, it actually put the trust liability on the employee to ensure that they are not claiming anything wrong, right? And it actually freed up the bandwidth of thousands of managers in that organization for doing a completely unproductive work. So as you can see, this is something The AI has been there, and we have been working on this kind of AI concepts quite some time back. This, what I am talking about, is almost 7-8 years back. Nothing new. What has happened in last 7 years? This thing has now exponentially grown. What are the next things on top of AI? Now there is a layer of NLP, natural language processing, right? What it does, it processes your natural language and converts it either into the parameters what a computer can understand, or even the other way around. It can read the computer parameters and give you a natural language answer. Combine natural language processing and AI, you have something called as Gen AI today. What it does, it puts the actual conversation context into the play and is able to reproduce an output which a human understands very easily without even a computer knowledge, right? Coming to this kind of Gen AI use cases, now you all, I am sure you all are very apt with ChatGPT and all, okay? Coming to businesses, so we got into conversation with few of our again clients where new ideas were being discussed. Some companies are like 150-year-old companies. They have legacy, okay? They have huge amount of data records which are physical. They have, you can consider that, suppose they have lot of land assets or lot of plant and lot of plant related manuals, but they are all in physical copies, okay? Some of those lands today might be under litigation. Some of them might be in court cases. The question was that, can we use Gen AI or AI kind of a tool to digitalize all these records, and the system should be able to give me an insight that based on some new information, which are my land records which can get impacted because of this. Again, see, one thing would be, this is kind of in-house trying to create more efficiency within your own system. Second use case was, say, customer focused for them. Okay, exactly. I think the question what came up around jewelry. They are into textiles. They are like, can AI help me come up with new designs which I can sell in market? So we came up with a concept where you say you scan through the data which is available on internet based on the season, based on the date, what kind of clothes, what kind of designs, what kind of prints are in fashion. And today, as ChatGPT 4 has Della kind of a software, can we feed into it to generate new patterns? This was just an idea. We tried it out in a pilot and it was successful. So it was able to predict and actually generate new design prints for them. Okay, sounds good. We implemented that pilot. It threw up some 15 designs. So an activity what their actual designer used to take couple of months to go through and come up with design, the ChatGPT or the bot started to throw up new designs at a much faster pace. So they could go through those 15-20 designs and decide that this 5 we should take it. But then they again hit a roadblock. My engineering team has to still convert this design, which is on paper, it is just a physical print, into the technical specifications which will have to be fed in my machine, that they understand what are the parameters or what are the threads, what are the counts, what overlaps what, to be able to produce that fabric. Now if I start pushing 50 designs wherein their throughput is like 1 or 2 designs converted to technical specs every 2-3 weeks, there again it creates a bottleneck. How do I bridge that? So again we came up with a concept. Okay, you have your software, you have your past designs. Can we build an can we utilize today's AI tools to go through your target design and the technical specifications what you have today, you feed it as a data, and can this bridge the gap between these two and come up with an engine which is able to consume the design and provide you the tech specs. Now this is still in concept phase. We have not been able to crack it thoroughly. There are too many complicated things. But again, client has data available. Theoretically, you can say that they are thinking of bringing more and more process efficiency within their organization. utilizing the AI concept. Yesterday I was just reading an article. This thing actually has been implemented for the carpet weavers of Kashmir. There's an article on BBC, if you read about it. They call this talim codification. When you want to weave a carpet, the designer actually comes up with small pieces of design, and then they do the codification in their chits, that which thread will go above another, so that the design comes up exactly like that. And they have now fed it into an AI model, and the process has improved so much. It's not that now machine is producing those carpets. Carpets are still being produced manually. But where that person used to take 6 months to just convert a full-fledged carpet design into, you can say, those talim codes, today machine is getting it done in 6 weeks. So again, the number of carpets being produced has gone up significantly. So all these ideas, if you see, we try to club them under what we call as digital strategy. These are all variety of digital initiatives where AI can be one component of it or a significant component of it, depending on the type of it. But again, most of you coming from SME and medium size sectors, the amount of resources, either financial or human, which are required to implement them are limited, right? And that is where the key thing is prioritization. You can define your end objective as, say, some problem statements. What I heard, you want to compete with, say, today's biggest jewelry brands, or you want to create a different target market for yourself, or you want to be the biggest designer jewelry diamond company, right? Define your problem statement. Make it tangible, whether you want to increase your revenue, you want to reduce your cost, you want to increase your efficiency. The moment you define it, you can then drill down into those individual technology, or I would say digital ideas, which need to go through it. And AI can be a small or a big component out of it. But there might be a lot of other things as well. Something like, as I said, you want to automate a process but you don't have the data, then your first digital intervention would be to convert your physical data or your unstructured data, which is there in your logbooks or any physical documents, convert it into digital format to start with. That might be your first intervention. Second would be integration of those things into your database, and then you apply AI model, right? So it would be a process. You have to think it as a strategy and then execute it out. And we as PwC have been doing it for a lot of clients. Happy to support and happy to have conversations around it.